welcome to a new video, and today we're here to talk about the first arcade game I was able to beat by myself. Now, I've played multiple arcade games over the years, as you guys know. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, multiplayer, The Simpsons, the X-Men arcade game, 6-player, that was a lot of fun. But I played those games with multiple people to beat those games. And more of those games are just more of how many quarters you can put in the game and just kind of, win and everything. But one game always stood out, and this game is Fatal Fury 2. Fatal Fury 2 was the first arcade game I was able to win by myself with learning skills and everything. I was introduced to the Fatal Fury series. My mom, there was an arcade by my house. It was 7-Eleven at the time, and there was 3 arcade games, and there was Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and the SNK machine. Now, you guys know the SNK has multiple games in it. Well, the one that stood out to me was Fatal Fury. I couldn't play Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat really because a lot of the kids, adults, had their quarters on the machine. You had to wait too long to get a turn, and if you got in there, you got smashed, and then you had to start all over. It was just really annoying. So I just wanted to kind of enjoy a game. So nobody was playing the SNK machine, and I played Fatal Fury. Now, Fatal Fury, I would say, is a little bit. It's not a good game, but it looks good. When I say it's not a good game, it's because it's kind of really off. It's not really what you would call a fighting game where you have to use skill. You can pretty much cheese your way through that game, especially using Andy Bogard and doing the flying elbow if you want. After that, I remember in my elementary school, I was walking home, and I decided to go to the Stop and Go gas station. Stop and Go was this old gas station. I don't even know they're still around. They might be. But I went in there, another SNK machine. I was like, let me see what's on here. And Fatal Fury 2 was there. So I picked that game up right away. I said, oh my God, I can't believe there's a sequel. I didn't know this. And I picked Andy Bogard to try to do the flying elbow cheese move. It did not work in that game. You have to use real skill in this game. So I learned real quick, that game was a little bit tough than what I previously played. So I picked my main character, which was Terry Bogard. Still to this day, he's my main character in the Fatal Fury series. And that game is so freaking cool. I mean, I'm telling you guys, Fatal Fury 2 looked so beautiful at the time. And it still does to this day. I loved you were able to jump into the foregrounds, and every time you would beat an opponent or an opponent would beat you to go to the second round, the day would change and everything. It just was really beautiful. And I'd never seen a game to where you're fighting somebody and you're on on a moving train or a boat or something in the background just kind of scrolling. It just really looked great. The environment was outstanding. And one of my favorite levels in that game was the freaking Jube's level, because you can actually destroy the pictures in the background, just keep jumping back and destroying them, and it just really feel like you really interacted with the environment in that game. It was really outstanding, and it really blew me away. So playing that game, I got really good at it, and basically you fight the regular characters as you go on. Then you fight the boss characters. There's 4 boss characters in the game. And to my surprise, one of the first boss character was a character in the previous Fatal Fury game, which is Billy Kane. Now, I hated this guy because he fights with a stick. Everybody else fights with their fists and everything. Or you have characters that throw some projectiles or whatever, but they didn't have weapons really or nothing like that. Or maybe Mai did. I don't know. But anyways, he fought you with a cane, a stick, and he would keep poking at you. And he was really tough. I couldn't get past him for a while, and I figured out how to get past him was I had to be very patient. What I did was I kind of lured him in, and when he got close to me, I would do chip damage against him. I would do the rising tackle or the flying tackle, whatever they call that move that Terry does. It's really weird, but that would take some damage from him, and then Billy would get impatient and he really start opening up and try to attack you. And once you get close to him, you can start doing damage against him. And that's what I actually eventually did. And what the weird thing was, I had spent like a month trying to beat this guy, because I had to come back every so often because I didn't have enough money to keep fighting him. And when I finally beat him for the first time, I was so happy. I really beat him up too. I knocked him against the background. He was tore up and everything. And I got to the next boss, which was Axel Hawk the Boxer. Got through him the first time. The next one after that was Lawrence Blood, the Minotaur or whatever. And he was a really aggressive character, but I got past him the first time. So I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. I thought he was the last boss. Then the secret last boss came out. Well, not the secret. The real last boss came out, which was Wolfgang Krauser. And I think I was like 10, 11 years old. I can't remember how old I was, but he's an intimidating looking boss. He looks like a monster. And you get to his level, there's the orchestra playing in the background. It was like, what is this? It was crazy. And I beat that guy the first time I got to him. It was not easy. I had to be very patient, like I was against Billy King, because I was scared. I was run out. I had like 50 cents left in my pocket. I was not trying to, like go back home all sad, because I wouldn't be able to come back and try probably to the next week and try again. So I was very patient, and that dude hits hard. You got to be very careful against him. He's just a big monster, and he just can reach you. He's just a very dangerous character. I was able to beat him the first time getting to him, and I'll never forget it. And then what was really cool about beating him was it would show the year and date that you played the game, because the game went by the regular time. And I remember the date popped up when I beat the game. It's like, oh my God, this is crazy. That was today. Oh my gosh. And I beat that game, and I'll never forget it. It was a really amazing moment for me. And what was funny about it is I found out Fatal Fury 2 was actually coming out for Super Nintendo, and I wanted it so bad. I wanted to get that game. But unfortunately, back in that day, you couldn't really find out when games were coming out. I looked in magazines, they didn't have no date for it, at least the ones I saw. So I could never find that game. I remember I finally talked my dad into taking me to buy a game, and I was just hoping that the game would be there, but it wasn't. So I had to get Busted Bust Loose. That's another good game too, Tiny Toon Adventures. I did not get Fatal Fury 2 until maybe like, I would say about maybe 7-8 years ago. I actually got it on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. So those were the copies I wanted back in the day. I finally was able to get them a few years ago. But Fatal Fury 2 still lives up to one of my favorite fighting games of all time. Wolfgang Krauser, one of the most coolest bosses ever. I mean, still to this day. And if you guys have played Real Bout Fatal Fury Special, he's the final boss in that game too, the regular final boss, and he's an amazing character in that one. But that game focuses more on the combo system and everything. So you basically, whoever has the best combos or can pull up the best combos, man, that's who's going to win the battle. And he's pretty awesome in that game. You guys need to check it out. But to this day, I'll never forget that was the first arcade game that I was able to beat. And I remember telling my friends about it, calling my friends, hey, I beat the game, man. I beat this guy. And everybody's like, what, really? It was just really cool for me. So, yeah, that's my story today, guys, about Fatal Fury 2, favorite fighting game. I would consider it my favorite fighting game of all time, just for nostalgia, though, because it was the first game I was able to beat. That game still looks good to this day, like I said earlier, guys. Just, golly. Fatal Fury 2. Fatal Fury 3, that was a good game, too. I like it a lot, but my buddy DJ doesn't like it, so I don't know why he doesn't like it. He didn't really tell me why. He just said, nah, I don't like it. And I was like, fine, whatever. But anyways, I guess that's all I have to tell you guys. It's just, what were your, do you guys have any memories about the first fighting game you guys beat, or first arcade game you beat in general? Because to what I wanted to say about this is that I got so good at Fatal Fury 2 that I was actually playing the game and beating it on a quarter. I could beat that game on 1 quarter, and I started spending more money. I said, I'll just save a quarter for Fatal Fury and I'll play that one and beat it. And that's how I did it. It was just, man, it's blew me away. But let me know in the comments what games you guys beat in the arcade, maybe by yourself, or the first arcade game you beat, maybe on 1 quarter or whatnot. Or, I mean, I know that that's not the best story ever, but I see some people today could beat beat 'em up games on 1 quarter. I saw a guy beat Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on 1 quarter. He knew exactly how to beat the enemies and everything without getting hit. So I was like, wow, that's pretty damn crazy. Because beat 'em up games, those games are really meant to take your money, and it was fun though. It was kind of like, you think about it, it's kind of like a gambling in a way, just without they're taking your money, but it's more, you guys get what I'm saying. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for you in this video. Thanks for watching. Radical Reggie, and I will see you later.
Hey, I'll kiss your gravestone. Fight. Sleep well. Tomahawk!